ODM today is not what it was 20 years ago.
You have not passed any resolution as a party to say how we are going to go into the election of 2027. So wherever you are, don't commit the party to some things which have not been discussed. Let those things be discussed first. We are ODM. Who's told you that ODM will not have a candidate in 2027? Who has told you? So first, think as ODM. We have a clear plan that we have negotiated and we've agreed on, and let us continue to implement that plan. Other decisions we'll take when the time comes.
ODM was once synonymous with defiance, with the people, with hope, and for years it was Kenya's most powerful opposition party. But as we speak today, as we speak now, the party is at war with itself. Since joining hands with President Ruto in what is called now the broad-based government, ODM's internal wrangles or internal cracks have grown into the fractures. We have now different rival factions within ODM itself, and now there is a lot of sinking loyalty. There's a lot of fading strongholds. You're talking about Kakamega, you're talking about, Kisii, Nyamira, and many others that you can name. Today, I want us to look at, will ODM survive this storm? Because 2027 is actually way close. Or is it already slipping towards, the bad side and it is gonna collapse? Anyway, before you even get started, welcome back to another episode of WeeKenyans. I want you to take 3 seconds of this video, just hit on that subscribe button and also hit on that notification bell so that anytime we do a video, you're able to be notified.
A vote is an individual decision. Tom Ojienda will not vote for Sifuna. I will be given a ballot, you will be given a ballot. You can see he's already wearing UDA colors. He's already wearing UDA colors. So he has made a decision that is going to support William Ruto for re-election. Yeah. I do not begrudge you, Ojienda. That is your personal decision. Yeah. Sifuna Edwin Watenya. I can give my ID number. Should I? Will not be voting for William Ruto in 2027. He should also respect my decision.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, before we even get to Sifuna or the internal wrangles that have been happening in ODM currently, let's rewind a bit. ODM's story is one of the rising from, marginalization to dominance. Since 2005, when Kenya had the constitutional referendum to 2007 election, it became the voice of Wanjiku, fueled by Railaodinga's leadership and mass support across Nyanza, western parts of the Rift and major part of the coastal Kenya. If you remember the Pentagon team where we had the likes of Ruto, Mudavadi, Raila, Balala, and Joe Nyaga. Then they were a very darling of so many people, and ODM was built on a reputation for resilience, demanding for accountability and strong parliamentary presence. Its brand was, majorly opposition, because we know what happened in 2007. They weren't able to flinch the seat after the election. But ODM continued to stand firm against arrogance and against injustice. By 2013 and 2017, it had strongholds in Nyanza and it had built important coalitions. We're talking about the NASA, we're talking about the CORD, and it has produced national leaders, and legislative clout has been real over the years. But then, what has been happening at the moment? What is really going wrong with ODM, and why is it on the falling side? We all know that everything changed when ODM decided to join hands with Ruto and Kwanza in a broad-based government. What was supposed to be a strategic alliance turned into a catalyst for crisis. Within ODM, two camps have emerged clearly. One side, the beneficiaries, those who have been awarded positions, people like John Badi, Oparanya, Joho, Wandai, and the normal, usual ODM or Raila house, as they said. We're talking about Junet Mohammed and the likes of Atandi, who have been given, chairs in parliamentary committees. And now this is becoming more of like part of a coalition between ODM and UDA. And on the other side, we have those who are, on the dissent. They have said that no matter what, they're not going to support Kenya Kwanza or Ruto. The likes of Edwin Sifuna, the likes of Babuowino, who have repeatedly said that they are not going to support Ruto no matter what. And the resistance is actually seen as betrayal of party principle, but it's indeed ironical looking at Sifuna, who is among the SG. So I don't know the irony and where this target, because a party once defined by integrity has now been in a position of tearing itself down. Well, I have Carolee Omondi here actually stating clearly why he believes that ODM is not the same as the ODM they had or they formed the last 20 years.
ODM today is not what it was 20 years ago. When we formed ODM and we first went to elections in 2007, in a parliament of 2010 members, ODM won 96 seats on its own. Then we had another 9 affiliates. By 2013, in a parliament of 290, we were down to, I think, 87. We have gone down further. So we are not what the strength that we once were. And let's not pretend. The idea of broad-based has brought a lot of schism in the party. There are 2 different schools of thought about it. So let's not pretend. We cannot lie to people. Our supporters are not children. Yeah, let's just be honest with them. There's a group that does not support the idea of engaging with the president. You remember they held rallies against us as a whole. Then they split. And then there's a group that supports that. If you saw what happened in Kisii, the jamboree that ODM had in Kisii, there was not a single elected member of parliament on ODM in Kisii or in Nyamira that attended that function. That should tell you something. We have 3 by-elections in Kisii, ward by-elections. Nobody picked the ODM ticket. Nobody went to pick it. If you go to Kakamega, these are our strongholds. Nobody picked the ODM ticket in Malava. Let's not pretend. I don't like pretending. Yeah? If you go to a meeting, if you remember a meeting that our party leader held in Kakamega a few months ago, of the 12 MPs, only 3 attended, elected on ODM. So as we celebrate, let us do an introspection and say we are no longer what we were once. There's a problem somewhere that we need to deal with. And I would like to advise all the politicians and everybody trying to do a formation. If you want to know who to engage, I think, when you acquire business, there are 2 methods you are advised to use to do evaluation. One is the asset base, the balance sheet method. But the most accurate one that will give you a fair value is the discounted cash flow. See what is coming in the future. Yeah.
And what is coming in the future for?
Then you will know that if I invest here, my dividends will be like this.
What is coming in the future for ODM?
My reading of the situation, ODM will still be there. But in Nyanza, in Western, in our strongholds, there are going to be other political parties that are going to contest. Because even with the current by-elections, you've seen the issue of zoning between ODM and UDA. And in these upcoming by-elections, I expect ODM to win Kasipul and to win Ugunja. And I think we will do well in Magarini. I was in Magarini. If UDA does not up their campaign, if UDA ups their campaign, it will be a very tight contest.
Okay.
But other than those, and those do not show you the popularity of ODM, because those are traditional areas. We should have demonstrated that we are growing in other areas. So we will win them and we will celebrate, but they don't mean much.
Okay.
They don't mean much. And so for me, I'm seeing a situation where these celebrations, we should ask ourselves, do we have the leadership in the party today that believes in the core values of ODM? Can they inspire our members? Why are people running away from us? Why must we all depend on Baba if Baba is not there? Yes? Because ODM has become mercantilist in its leadership. Mercantilist. What Rigathi Gachagua was saying there. There are those who are in ODM for money, to extract things, not to engage on serious ideological debates. and pursuit of development and interest of and welfare of the people. They are there in ODM. Let's not pretend. They are there, and they've captured it. So you will end up with an ODM that does not reflect the aspirations of the people, and people are going to move. I can assure you, they're going to move.
Well, you've heard it quite loud and clear from Karoli Omondi, and don't even wish to repeat what he has already said. But looking at the recent, claims that ODM has been losing ground, and it has been losing its grip, because we're talking about the famous Western Province, Kakamega, and surrounding counties that ODM has always garnered a lot of support. And look at Kisii, look at Nyamira. Now its base is gradually shifting, especially with the announcement with the reemergence of Matiang'i wanting now to run for the presidency. So the recent meeting that was held at Kisii Stadium, actually, that was meant to galvanize support, many elected ODM members in the two regions, that is Kisii and Nyamira, didn't actually attend. So the ones who attended were just the nominated members. And we know the counties are so close, so there was a potential that they ferried the crowds to Kisii Stadium. But the absence of the elected leaders signals that something is deeper than just the logistical gaps. It speaks about, the disillusionment that is there within ODM at the moment. Where are the crowds of ODM? Where are they? I mean, is this just a fallacy and trying to, recreate, especially now that they are celebrating the 20-year mark? Why is it that there's no that vibe that was there before?
Mimi nasema chama cha ODM kikijiandaa vizuri 2027 tunaweza kutoa rais, na hata huyu Joe anaweza, kwani hawezi?
Sasa ukitembea na Wamushomba utajua namna gani mambo ya broad base. Huwezi kujua. Sasa yeye nimesikia sasa hapa amesema mimi sijui mambo, hiyo ni kweli yake. Na yeye ndio secretary general yetu, lakini hajui mambo ya Ruto. Sisi ndio tunajua mambo ya Ruto na tuko katika broad based government. Si namna hiyo?
Sasa tuko na William Samoei Ruto 2032 tukitaka.
Let alone the internal wrangles, but even the recent by-elections have seen, a very significant change where ODM candidates have actually totally lost ground and trust to even run their normal party nominations. I mean, there have been reports from the local offices that the campaign offices have been deserted. We're talking about the issues of Western and some of their parts that they have been stronghold. UDA is actually advancing, and you even heard Karoli Omondi speaking about that if UDA advances on their strategy, they can even beat ODM in some areas.
As we head to the ODM party primaries in Ugunja this Friday, there remains glaring gaps that the party must urgently address to safeguard the integrity of the exercise. These primaries are a defining moment for our constituency, and ODM must ensure transparency, preparedness, and fairness. The new agreed polling centers have not yet been uploaded. The issue of which register will be used and the publication of presiding officers' names remain pending. By now, this information should be in the public domain. In addition, some of the churches that were earlier posted as voting centers have raised concerns. Priests in those areas are complaining that the centers are too concentrated within their compounds, making it very difficult for them to carry out normal church activities. We want to call upon the ODM, National Election Board in Siaya, led by Charles Mark Onguko, to deliver a free, fair, and verifiable nominations. Anything less than this, and I want it to be very clear and on air, anything less than this is subverting the will of the people of Ugunja, and we will not accept. They have promised to shed blood here, and we, the people of Ugunja, will safeguard our blood using whatever means.
Wanajaribu kutustua, na hiyo kutustua tumezoea. Hiyo wamezoanga kila wakati, lakini this time round watatustua, lakini sisi hatuko karibu tayari kukufa. Tunataka amani. Na hii amani ndio tunataka. Hata Aluru mwenyewe ambaye anataka kuwa mbunge wa Ugunja amesema hii uchaguzi anataka ifanyike na amani sana. Yeye hana maneno na Mungu, watu wake hawana maneno na mtu. Sisi tunataka hii uchaguzi, lakini mimi nitasema hivi. Wale wana support Moses, tafadhalini wacheni kusema mambo mengine machafu, mkijaribu kustua watu ambao wana support Otieno Aluru. Mkifikiria sisi tuko na uoga.
ODM's start of decline is not something that is very new in Kenyan politics. We have known very big parties that have fallen or have gone unheard for very many years. Talk about Mwai Kibaki's NAG, talk about Ford Kenya, talk about even KANU that went with Moi. This is now when legitimacy erodes. So does loyalty. Because now many people have been feeling ever since Raila joined government, he betrayed the people. And that is where all these problems of ODM befell them. But yeah, ODM's bayfall isn't sudden. It's going to be incremental, where they are going to lose their bases and the strongholds, which have already started, and fighting amongst themselves. We're talking about reputational compromise, which I believe they already have had that by joining Kwanza. And now it's going to get to inability to mobilize crowds. We have been talking about even people not accepting ODM certificate at the moment. So it is that bad. And this is how their relevance is fading. But anyway, we know this man, none other, some of them call them Baba or Railaodinga, has been very good. And when you feel like he's going to actually drone, he always have a way of, coming up again. So we are waiting to see if ODM is going to reclaim its identity under him and unify quickly before 2027. And if they're going to regain their influence. Because at the moment, their party is actually fading very quickly into the headlines of their footnotes.
We have gone down further. So we are not the strength that we once were. And let's not pretend. The idea of broad-based has brought a lot of schism in the party. There are two different schools of thought about it. So let's not pretend. We cannot lie to people. Our supporters are not children. Yeah, let's just be honest with them. There's a group that does not support the idea of engaging with the president. You remember they held rallies against us as a whole. Then they split. And then there's a group that supports that.
ODM trajectory now hangs in the balance. Will it reclaim its identity as Kenya's bold opposition? Or is it going to fade cautionary tale of compromise? What does its survival depend on? Is it whether the leaders choose principle over profit or unity over division? What do you believe anyway? Do you believe that Baba is going to restore ODM, and can they bounce back before 2027? Or this is going to be irreversible? Anyway, share with me your thoughts in the comment section and tell me what you think with the current state of ODM, and if they're going to, subvert and come back to the people and leave Kasongo by himself. But if you wait, as 2027 is just 1 year ahead, and next year is going to dictate a lot of things, and they will be, you're told like in politics, one day is more of like an year. So we wait to see. That brings us to the end of this video. Before I even go, if you haven't subscribed, I want you to take 3 seconds of this video to just hit on that subscribe button, and also hit on that notification bar so that anytime we do a video, you're able to be notified. But that's for it today. Until next time, I will see you again. Bye-bye.